Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got the director, the founder of Performing Arts Studio West, John Paizis, with me. So welcome, John.
Thank you so much. It is absolutely wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one because I think it's such a neat idea. We have to get into to the book, but before we do that, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background and where did the idea for Performing Arts Studio West come from, and what exactly does it do?
Okay, well, Performing Arts Studio West is a conservatory style program for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Yeah. And we just had our 26th anniversary.
Wow.
My background, since I was about 15, actor, singer, and a dancer. I've been in rock bands. I've toured. I've done every crazy thing that a young person to do.
Did you sing, or were you playing an instrument?
I was a singer mostly. I played a little bit of guitar, a little bit of keyboards, but mostly frontman and singing.
Nice.
And songwriting. Yeah. So that was a good time. How Performing Arts Studio West came about is when I moved to Los Angeles from New York. I'm originally a Bay Area guy, so I was born in San Francisco, raised in the Bay Area.
Oh, very nice. I just got back from New York.
Oh, fantastic. So spent about 3 years in New York. I was going to acting school back there, studied at the neighborhood playhouse. And when I came back to Los Angeles, I came to be in a rock band with my brother. And my day job was working with adults, mostly men with autism. And I fell into that because my mom was a special education teacher. And when I was up in the Bay Area, I had done some assistant teaching in a classroom situation. So I had a late cousin who had a developmental disability. So I just kind of gravitated and very used to the population. And I found them fascinating and fun and funny and weird, just like, I find most people in my life. And so I was with that agency for 17 years, started as a classroom instructor, ended up as an associate director, and they closed in 1997. So I found myself kind of, what am I going to do? I was unemployed. I was working on my acting and my music and all that stuff, and I said, "Well, I got to get a day gig going on." So I had this idea. I said, I had met so many wonderful and creative and weird in a good way. Like I say, I mean, so many interesting characters while I was working with this population, and I said, God, wouldn't it be kind of a fun situation to kind of crash those two worlds into each other and take my background in the arts and introduce that to people in the population of adults with disabilities and see if we could make something happen, And so that's how it came about. And in June of 1998, we opened up Performing Arts Studio West. And, originally working with about 6 people, and now we have about 70 adults with disabilities we're working with, staff of 14. Amazing. Brilliant instructors, wonderful performers. And we are just happy to keep on chugging and providing opportunities for people with disabilities, not only training for work in film and television, acting, music, dance, all that stuff, but then also we have a talent management division, and we place our participants in film and television and commercial projects.
Yeah, I really love that because you mentioned autism. A lot of people with autism. My stepson has Asperger's, and it's the great thing about people that struggle with that a little bit is that it tends to give them superpowers in one area, but they struggle sometimes with the details and the
Yeah.
mundane, the routine stuff. And you found a way to help those people
Yes.
because
Yes.
the talent's there, but they need some help navigating some of that
It
stuff.
is
I love that.
absolutely. And, and there's been a shift in the industry over the years, too. I mean, when I started this 26 years ago, it was a tough sell to
Yeah.
try to convince casting directors and producers and writers that, hey, you should have some authenticity when you're casting.
Right.
If you have a character that has autism, instead of having, a non-disabled individual playing somebody with autism, why don't you take a trained actor who has autism
Yeah.
and throw them into that role? And I mean, and that's what we do. I mean, we take our work very, very seriously, and we've had, a tremendous amount of success in kind of turning the minds of people in the industry to really take a look at these individuals more seriously and consider that casting them is going to bring an authenticity and elevate the integrity of any project that is being developed.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. We had Jerry Jewell came on
Yes.
the program a few months back, and she was just raving about the great work that you do there.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, she's been
Yeah,
a
and
friend of the
she's kind
program
of,
for some
back
time.
when she started, there wasn't too many disabled
Absolutely.
working.
Absolutely. She was groundbreaking in that
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that she's appreciative of what you're doing, and I think it's so terrific because it's unlocking a group of people and talented people
Hmm.
that we may never have been introduced to if it
Yes.
wasn't for them getting a little bit of help.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about this next project because it's
Okay.
terrific. So it's a book, kind of like an art book. I think it's Mother
Yes.
Goose Reanimated. But
Yes.
tell me about that.
All right. Mother Goose Reanimated is a 187-page coffee table art book where we take 12 traditional Mother Goose rhymes and we show those with a traditional style illustration and the
Yeah.
original rhyme. And then we juxtapose that against a reanimated, and we use reanimated in the sense of bringing something dead back to life.
Right.
Like in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, you're reanimating dead tissue. Okay, we're reanimating these rhymes that are hundreds and hundreds of years old that have been passed down verbally from generation to generation and millennium to millennium. And so we're taking a look at these now through kind of this dark lens of what we as humans are experiencing in a modern society, but then putting them in different time periods and using a new storyline or prose to describe what is going on in these illustrations. And we have behind the scenes photographs of how each one of these uh, reanimated rhymes was produced.
Yeah.
Tons of celebrity. We have 14 celebrities that have joined us on this that have become friends of the studio over the years.
Are they are they posing for some of the pictures? Is that
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
I've seen some of them. They look amazing. The artwork's
Oh,
incredible.
thank you. Yes, and we have out of the 100 people that were involved, the combination of the creative team and the models and our people, our participants, there's about 100 people that are featured in the book, and 90% of those people identify as being individuals with some type of disability.
That's amazing.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah,
Isn't that wild?
that's wonderful. Where did the idea come from?
All right, we had because we have created a lot of original content over the years.
Yeah.
We've done film, we've done web series, we have done small intimate theater, we have done huge multimedia musical productions with projections and all sorts of stuff happening. Um, I wanted to take a look at what had we not done.
Right.
What is another area that we can explore and another thing that might lead to employment for our guys. And we really hadn't done any print work. And so we're thinking, well, what would be a creative way to teach some of the skills that you need to become successful in print work? And we were thinking, gosh, okay, well, how about if we played around with nursery rhymes and reinterpretations of nursery rhymes. And the idea started off as simply maybe just a calendar. So, a 12-month calendar with this reanimated,
Good idea.
reimagined thing. And then once we started getting into this thing, it just snowballed. And we got friends that were celebrities that had been associated with the studio, either through our guest speaker program or people that our guys have worked with in film and television projects. And they would come in and we'd show them a little bit of this stuff and say, hey, do you want to play with us on this? This looks like something you might be interested in. And everybody was just saying, yes, 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 yes. And so
everybody loves to dress up.
Oh, yeah, that's it. It's Halloween 365 days a year. So 10 years, Michael, this thing took to put this together, because it started that long ago. We're a small creative team. We have 14 people on our staff, but the people that were directly involved with the production of the book, it was about 4 or 5 of us. And through the photography sessions that were used to create these digital pieces, and just the wardrobe of the props and the costuming and actually developing each one of these ideas, it was going on while we were still doing all other business, creating other shows and creating opportunities for our guys. So 10 years in the making, and it has been just a labor of love, and we couldn't be more thrilled with the way that it turned out.
Yeah, that's amazing, and good for you for sticking with it. Because a lot of times that stuff doesn't get made. It gets started, never gets finished, just because of the length of time. I mean, the obvious question for me though is, do you plan to take that and create, movies, TV shows out of that?
We have some very ambitious plans for 2025.
Seems like it would lend itself to that.
Because each rhyme and each reimagining of the rhymes with the new prose and the new storyline is a perfect jumping off point for, something that could be developed into something much larger.
That's right.
And we have some very ambitious plans. I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse or say anything too much right now, because you know how that shit goes.
I do. That's exciting though. It does open up a lot of possibilities.
It is super exciting. And listen, everybody that we have shared this with, we were at Los Angeles Comic-Con at the beginning of the month. 127,000 people came through this thing. And I mean, I've never talked so much in my life or shook as many hands or explained things. And every person that has seen this is like, it's unprecedented. I don't think anything like this has ever really been done before, with this type of population, with this many people, with celebrity involvement. And, we already shot 2 live action pieces to go with this as we were putting together our ammunition for moving forward. But we shot 2 live action pieces. There's original music to this thing. There's animation to this thing. We've got the celebrities, doing voiceover work for the original versions of these rhymes. There's so many elements in this that are going to coalesce in this next year.
Yeah, that's incredible. Do you have plans to do? I mean, a lot of it's based on the illustrations, but is there a plan to do kind of an audio format where you have these actors rhymes?
Yes, absolutely, because that's one of the next steps. I mean, a lot of people are saying, will there be an audiobook that goes with this? And that is also in the works for next year as well. So,
I mean, it's so exciting because with the if you went, I mean, you could go movie route for sure and do different projects with the movies, or you could make it into a kind of like an anthology series.
That's the key right there. That's what the big plan is.
Yeah, and that's exciting.
There's a lot of tiny steps in between there, but we're on a very good path to making that happen. So we're very excited.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. So where can we get Mother Goose Reanimated?
All right. First of all, on Amazon, probably your best bet, Amazon.com. Everybody knows Amazon. Just type in Mother Goose Reanimated. The book is available in hardcover and softcover and also Kindle versions. And it depends on what your vibe is. The hardcover is just substantial and beautiful and sits out on your coffee table. The paperback version has a little bit more of a comic book feel, even with the colors. It's
like that. I'm a comic book guy.
Yeah, a little bit more vibrant. And then the Kindle version is amazing because you can just download it and you can zoom in on this stuff and you can really take a look at some of the detail in as close up and with as much investigation as you would care to put into it.
Yeah, that's such a good idea. Where did you find your illustrators, your photographers for this?
Okay, well let's start with our traditional illustrations,
Yeah,
which was the last piece of this puzzle to come together because as we were developing each one of the rhymes in the reanimated versions, we were saying, we really do need to juxtapose this with something that people are more familiar with, from being a kid and you sitting down
sure.
and reading Jack and Jill went up the hill, so we have a traditional illustration for each one of the rhymes. And we found that illustrator who is also on the autism spectrum.
Wow.
She is a brilliant animator, educator, and illustrator that works with the population as well. And we found her through our former dance teacher and choreographer. Her and her husband were working on a kid's book. And I remembered this gal coming through and I had seen her illustrations. And I said, is Rachel Capito is her name.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And we said, do you still have her information? We got in contact with her. She, remembered us from coming to the studio, and she said, "Oh, I would love to." So she created, 12 traditional style illustrations that are absolutely amazing. Now, our digital illustrator, Evan Rawl, has been on our staff for almost 20 years, and he's
Wow.
already published, 25 books in this same kind of, dark art kind of style. But
Yeah.
this is far more involved than anything else that he has done before. So between Eben and Rachel and Eben's wife Chris did a lot of the on-set photography. Our one of our producers, Steve Neal, who's been with the studio for over 15 years, I think at this point, was kind of the project coordinator for this entire thing. He would be the guy who would go out to the prop shops and go out to the costume companies here in LA and make the contacts and make the scheduling. And we'd have days when we were shooting out 25 actors for
Wow.
one piece. And so this team was we ran like clockwork, even though we were a small team, and we would involve our other staff because it also took our acting teachers would
Yeah.
coach our guys to get them into the right space. We would have people coordinating again wardrobe and makeup and all that stuff.
It's a little more involved than your typical book.
Oh, 10 years in the making.
So with with fairy tales,
Mhm,
the originals much darker than what we kind of grew up on. Is
mhm,
that the
mhm.
same for nursery rhymes?
I think so. I think so because so many of these things at the time, they seem very whimsical.
Right.
But if you go back and you try to do a little bit of research on where they originated from, it's always rather ambiguous. But I'm finding that even in a very general sense, they have to do with, what was the social structure at the time?
Right.
Were people, living under the rule of a king? Was there a was there a religious dogma that hung over the people that was very constricting?
Right.
Was there
Right.
was there class structure? Was there struggle? Were there elements of relationships and communication at the time that could only be described through a more ambiguous type of scenario as to
Yeah.
not upset people? And again, who knows how these things have morphed over time, because some of these are from the 16th century,
Right.
you know and who the
It's
hell was
just
Mother Goose?
it's yeah.
So yeah, I mean the other thing too is that the age level of people who can enjoy this type of thing, I think keeps getting skewed down, because even though some of these images are very dark and a little bit frightening and a little bit mm, crazy, I think younger people are getting used to that thing because of video games, because of
That's right.
so graphic novels. And so anyone above the age of 13, I think would just be fascinated by this.
Well, and anybody that loves artwork, because the art in it is incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very, very proud. We're very proud. And
Yeah,
just, you know, yeah, I'm sorry, go
it's
ahead.
kind of. I was just going to say it's kind of a. You did a good job finding the right illustrator because if you gotten the wrong one, it would have messed up the whole project.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and there's a couple of instances too where you know while we were talking, you know, in the production stage of these things, some of these things you know weren't really clicking. Like we were taking a look at the cat and the fiddle. You know, hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow
Yeah.
jumped over the moon. Little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. So we're thinking cat fiddle, or so cat is cool. You know, fiddle could be music, and so we're thinking hey, maybe we should do a you know, depict this as a like a 1960s, early 1960s era, like Rat Pack kind of a
I like that.
Hollywood pool party thing. We're going,
Yeah.
oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. And we're sketching and we're making, you know, making and we're just going, God damn it, this thing is just not working. It's not working. And we had one of our participants, her name was Raven, goth, autistic chick, you
Yeah.
know, very, very bright, visual artist too. And she's sitting there in the production office with us, and she goes, she's going, dish ran away with the spoon. She goes, what if you made the dish? What if you ditched that idea, you know, that you were thinking of previously? What if the dish was like, you know, like a saucer, like a flying saucer, a dish? And we just went ding, 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 ding. We said that's a brilliant idea. So we had her sketch us up some stuff and we took it from there. And so now The Cat in the Fiddle is a story of alien abduction where there's a junk man who's got all this stuff in the back of his truck. He's got like a Felix the cat clock that used to hang in the kitchen back in the
Nope.
day. He's got, you know, he's got silverware, he's got musical instruments, and he's driving out in the countryside, you know, past a barn and a pasture, and he got these three UFOs that are hovering over him, and they're sucking everything up out of the back of his truck. They're sucking up the cow. The cow is being lifted over the moon. So we love to take these things in directions that people wouldn't even think of.
Yeah, and that's a great example. Yeah, I never would have gotten there.
Yeah.
Not in a million years could I have come up with that.
And you know, and they all take a really, really insane, you know, twist, like Humpty Dumpty, you know, which we're all from. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, had a great fall, couldn't be put together again, you know. But
Yeah.
we're depicting Humpty Dumpty as a man who's confined to a 19th century insane asylum.
Ooh.
And he is in the picture, he's sitting on the floor, he's in a straitjacket, and he's in a straitjacket to protect himself from himself and from other people because he has been bashed so much for being different when he was a child, and it finally just broke his mind. And all the king's horses are mounted knights that are sitting on, you know, they're in armor and they're sitting around him, surrounding him. And these are his protectors that he's conjured up in his mind to keep him safe from the people that he feels are trying to harm him. So we love to take that, you know,
Yeah,
that
that's
dark look at things, you know.
seems like this would lead itself to merchandising too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
All in the works. You know, I mean, God, my God, we just really, you know, we just premiered this thing beginning of October. So it's been less than a month that this has been out
Yep.
there and available. So we're just starting. We're just
You're just
starting.
scratching the surface now.
Absolutely. And we're thrilled so far with the reception that we've had from people.
Were there nursery rhymes that didn't make the book?
Yes. Yes. We
Okay.
probably started off with, in fact, we're starting to take a look at a round two of this thing, you know,
That was kind of where I was going. Is there
yeah, if
plans to
if
do
we're
a
going to
sequel?
develop this into a round two, so you know, we're looking at first of all things that would be very visual. That's the key. You know, something that's familiar to people that they, oh yeah, I remember that from being a kid, and then something that we could make very, very visual. So I've got about 8 additional rhymes that we've identified, and we're just starting to play around with ideas for those. Yes.
Do you have a favorite out of this book?
Oh man. I would think Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow with silver
Yeah.
bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row? So we have now reinterpreted that as Mary is the captain of a pirate ship, and she's this beautiful, stoic, you know, hard-edged, you know, captain of this ship, and she has pirates and kidnappers of the crew. And what they have done is they have kidnapped 4 beautiful mermaids, and they're hauling them up into the ship in a big cargo net. And what their plans are is to take these mermaids to this unholy port. and sell them for their flesh. And why I love this one so much is because the whole pirate crew is a bunch of our guys with the best character faces you would ever want to see. You would ever want to see. And Mary is one of our former participants, a woman on the autism spectrum who looks like a supermodel. I mean, she's just beautiful, beautiful. Her, just the facial structure and the jawline and everything. And then our four mermaids are actresses and models that we have met over the years that are all either quadriplegic or paraplegic. So their way to relate to these gorgeous creatures who can't walk because they don't have legs was very, very strong with them. And one of them even said, when I was, when I initially had my spinal injury, I was a very young girl, and I would then imagine myself as being a mermaid because I was young and I was beautiful and I had this gorgeous long hair, but I couldn't walk. And to be able to bring everybody together for something like that with a shared vision was and the illustration is gorgeous because it's on a ship and the guys are leaning over and they're hauling up the nets and the mermaids are just got the most tortured looks on their faces because they know that they're being captured and taken out of their element. So that might be my favorite.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you for taking a little bit of time. This is
my pleasure.
It's been just the best. So the book is Mother Goose Reanimated, which I love the title.
Thank you. Yes, and again, we're available on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, type in Mother Goose Reanimated. The website for the book itself is Eben Rahl, EBEN Rahl, RAHL.com/MGR. And then there's all sorts of behind the scenes videos and animation and stuff that you can look at if you go on that website itself. So that's
terrific.
A fun jumping off place. It's a fun jumping off place for more investigation.
Well, is there anything else that you're working on, John, that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
We're currently working on a film that is something that we're producing at the studio. We do an annual holiday production, and this year we wanted to do a film. We've kind of gotten away from the live performances because of COVID and all that stuff. We're just kind of getting back on our feet. So we've gotten more into film and short film work, and we're doing something now that we are filming. It'll be out right before Christmas, and it's called The Last Great Holiday Show. It's about a community theater that is kind of going under, and they're looking to revive their integrity by putting on this great holiday show. And we have, our staff and our participants, and we got some wonderful writers and wonderful camera operators and stuff that are working on this. So very excited about that. And
we all love a good holiday story.
Oh, and it's silly and fun. It's kind of shot in a Office style, like The Office, with that like a mockumentary kind of thing. So people are breaking the fourth wall sometimes to look at the camera. There's interviews, and then there's behind the scenes stuff. So that's going to be really fun. And that's all. If you go to just type in Performing Arts Studio West, it'll take you right to our website. If you Google us, we're there. We're all over the place.
Well, yeah, that was my next one. Was if someone is interested in working or getting help from the studio, where do they go? So there's a website they can
PAStudiowest.com. And for people who listen, for people with individuals with disabilities, adults with disabilities, if you're in the Los Angeles area, we'd love to have you come by and take a look at the studio. If you're interested in getting your foot in the door of the entertainment industry, we're a great place to start. So listen, we just love to share what we do.
I think next time I'm in LA, I'm going to have to swing by and take
man, you should. You'd have so much fun. We'll give you the grand tour, and you can see all the wackiness we have going on.
Terrific. Thank you so much, John. Please, open invitation anytime. Come back and give us an update.
Thank you, Michael. It's my pleasure, man. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, this has been terrific. Okay, hold on one second. John Paizis with Performing Arts Studio West. I bet John was a pretty good singer. I'm going to have to go and look some of that up, see if I can find some clips of him rocking out back in the day. I bet he's pretty good. He's probably a pretty good actor too. But what a terrific life's work to start something, and you got a couple people that you're helping, and next thing you know, it's dozens, maybe 60, 70, 80 people that you're actively helping and putting out things to allow them easier access to doing the work that they love. I just think it's terrific. The book is Mother Goose Reanimated. Guarantee, and I'm okay giving this guarantee. We'll see more of this, not in book form. Well, I'm sure in book form they'll probably do a second book, and they should. But we're going to see it on the screen, whether it's the small screen or the big screen. We're going to see it. It's going to continue. It's terrific idea. I absolutely love it. We had some of that with Once Upon a Time. With they kind of reimaged the some of the nursery rhymes and put all of those, or not the nursery rhymes, the folk tales, and kind of put those in a world where they're all together and mix that up. And we used to love to watch that really well. I kind of see this in a similar light. Maybe you don't have everything in the same setting, but you could do it as an anthology, and I think it'd be terrific. Or you could do one-off movies, and they would be really good. And I love the calendar idea. Merchandise this stuff. I think I could see a lot of college kids with posters up on their wall, from this. So just a lot of potential there, I think. So I hope you enjoyed the interview. I hope you'll go and check out Mother Goose Reanimated. Support Performing Arts Studio West. It's such a great organization. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. If you're finding us for the first time, we're so happy that you're here. We've done this. We're closing in on 900 episodes. Our 6-year anniversary will be in January. So we've been doing this for a little while, pretty high volume on the episodes. We typically release 4 a week. You can find all of those audio and video versions on our website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there for doing something in studio, if we're going on location, say to Performing Arts Studio West, if we're covering a convention. All of that will be on the website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. It's free. Really helps us out. We take those subscriptions, those viewers, and we use that to help us get these wonderful guests. We're closing in on 1,000 guests on the show. I put our guest list up against any other podcast, talk show, anything. I think we've been so blessed. There's a reason that IMDb named us a top 100 podcast, and it's not me. It's the guests that we bring on the show. We've been so blessed. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.